Um, okay, so I'm saying that for me, in person, there's more energy. And if you work from home, that means you're starting your day easy, right? So, but I feel like, and you'd have to tell me, are there times where you feel like you miss people's, interaction, like want to be in the office sometimes?
Um, I would say good question. I would say yes and no, but the thing is, interaction like in person is different, and that's to say I'm more of an ambivert, so it just kind of depends on how's the situation. But since I've been working from home for like almost half of my career, because I'm in the tech field as an epi,
Hmm.
um, I would say I'm always interacting with people because we have to get on Zoom meetings. I have meetings constantly, so I'm interacting with people.
Yeah,
And then I do go into our office, so I would say more hybrid.
yeah,
But um, I do not like the aspect of interacting with people at times just
yeah,
because of just kind of like behaviors and attitudes.
yeah,
And sometimes you can navigate away from that space and in your own space and your situation you're dwelling, you
yeah.
kind of know where things are and you don't have to set up an expectation, right? You know how you have to code switch when you're around certain people or have to
Mm.
behave a certain way. And I feel like when in my own space, when I'm working from home, I don't have to do that. So I'm just being me, I'm relaxed.
Yeah,
But I'm always presentable, always present,
yeah.
always professional. But yeah, I miss it? Yes and no. Um, Sometimes, like, yeah, sometimes, of course, everyone wants that human interaction and wants to
Right,
coordinate and speak with
right,
people. But
right.
yeah, it really doesn't really affect me on a day-to-day basis. So I don't really suffer from any anxiety or
Yeah,
depression, or I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel left out. I'm like, no, if I need something, it's a call away, or,
yeah. It's more convenient.
of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What's that word you said? Ambivert? Ambivert? What's that?
Yeah, so it's
Um,
omnivert and ambivert.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm listening. What does it mean? Like when you said,
oh yeah. So ambiverts are a balance between introvert and extrovert, and an omnivert switches between extremes depending on the mood or the situation. So I would say I'm more omni. So depending on if wherever I am, like if there is a good situation going on and I can be all in. If we're at a social outdoor partying and having fun, okay, that's cool. I'm in. And then now mind you, Omnivert switches is more influenced by the mood or the energy levels in the situation demands. And ambivert is kind of like middle, and they're both pretty much the same. It's introvert, extrovert, but ambivert, I mean, it's more solitude. I can be in a place, but if I'm in a social gathering, say if there's 50 people, if I know three, I'll just hang around those three people.
mhm.
Or I might be on my phone. I might be in more of a collaborative group effort, trying to like handle individual tasks and speaking with them and coordinating with them, but I'm not really as open as I should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. That makes
Hmm.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I say I'm more of an omnivore where, I can be extreme, like, like if with my family, I'm
Uh,
very extroverted, right?
yeah,
That's my family. They know me. I know them.
yeah,
Courtney, we talk, we laugh, and we having
yeah,
fun. Coworkers, if I go out with them,
yeah,
more of an omnivert, I have to pick up, and it's more emotional intelligence, right? Picking up on social cues,
yeah. How
right?
so?
Yeah, and some people are, they want to be bothered. Sometimes they want to talk or they want to switch the subject.
Hmm.
Or you can kind of look at someone's body language if they have their feet turned towards you or their body is kind of put off or they don't want to be close to you. They don't want to shake your hand. You'll
Hmm.
pick up on certain situational
Yeah.
demands.
Like they're not ready to socialize right now.
Right,
Makes
right,
sense.
right.
That makes sense. Interesting. Yeah, you strike
Mhm.
me like someone who's very outgoing. I guess part of it
I could
is
be both.
yeah, yeah, totally. I think part of it is, just your appearance and because looks are a thing. You just have this welcoming look to you, and also the way you speak and the things you talk about. It's very you come off like someone that's very very social. Like very extroverted.
Yeah, I think in my field because I have to, as a research, upcoming research doctor, epidemiologist, I have to interact with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have patients, so I have to interact. In my year, I'm dealing with our military population is different from the civilian population,
Hmm.
but I
Also,
interact with a lot of military is
yeah,
very rigid, vigorous, and it's like you do as I say. There is a lot of stipulations. I mean, protocol, as in, how they're marching down the hallway to go to the bathroom. They make
yeah,
sharp left and right turns, right? They salute their command and their officers, their commander and officers. Civilian population, we kind of just go with the flow. Hey, how you doing? We don't want to talk to you.
yeah,
We don't have to talk. In the military population, when officers, doctors come in the room, you greet them, okay,
yeah,
with respect. You
yeah,
salute them, and it's just more formal. I would say very formal, and especially in the working settings like that.
yeah,
But yeah, I would say definitely working in my field, in the health field, and I worked at Amazon, and I worked at CDC, and I worked at big companies as Exxon Nobel.
yeah,
I had to interact with people. I had to present, and so I had to get out of my comfort zone.
yeah.
And yeah, I may be a omnivert, but
I'm
I
sure.
had to get out of my comfort zone
Uh-huh.
and yeah, just talk to people. And
Yeah,
so it was kind of more of a push. You have to. It was more of a demand than
yeah,
suggested. I
yeah.
say.
So were you like that when you were like younger? Like, or is this something like you learned to become like just be more exposed? Because there are a lot of people that don't know how to, I guess, like socialize when it's needed. Like they kind of feel empty. They kind of feel like there's so much pressure. But you seem to like just do it easy.
I think it's kind of innate. I wouldn't say like I think when I was younger, I think my parents exposed us to a lot. So I was in a lot of extra curriculum activities after school and like a lot of like summer programs. So I was an athlete. We did plays. Me and my sister, we did plays. I was in musicals. I played an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And so my parents, exposed us and socialized us at a very young age. So I
Mm-hmm.
would commend them on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could say it kind of came naturally. I always, I gravitate towards like-minded individuals as myself, but sometimes, I'm tall too, so I think a lot of people just gravitate towards me, or they kind of want to spark an interest, like a conversation or
Is that a thing?
interest because of, huh?
Is that a thing for a tall person to have like people just
Yeah,
gravitate towards
actually, a
them?
statistically, yeah, it actually said confident. They says taller people tend to be more confident, or they attract better suitors, as in like spouses and stuff like that. I read that, but I could be wrong. So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that sounds on point, especially when it comes to like dating and well, depending on the gender. I know like many times if you ask a lady or a woman what her preference would be, she would prefer like a taller guy.
Yeah.
So
hmm
that's pretty cool. But what about something like public speaking? Were you always good at public speaking?
I would say no. I was actually I definitely trained, I think, because I've been in the public health sector for over 12 years
Yeah,
now. When I was in college, I went to undergrad in Bowling Green State University.
yeah,
I had a lot of mentors that kind of chose me, and I always tell this to anybody, wherever you get, whenever you're going to a new program or learning
mhm,
something new, and you want to just spark your interest, something that sparks your interest, I would just say always be humble and always remain coachable.
yeah,
Always remain the student before the teacher. So a lot of my professors, my mentors, they kind of saw me out and he was like, "Oh, you're doing this. I want you to come over to this group." So I was a public health educator and I was a sexual health teacher, but also to eventually I went to go work at
yeah,
Planned Parenthood,
yeah,
speaking about sexual health for adolescent girls. And they kind of trained me like over the years, and I was like just shy,
yeah,
shy in a way. Like I would talk to them,
yeah,
very nice, approachable, but wasn't comfortable speaking in front of people. No, I'm like, okay, like why am I, and sometimes it was like impromptu.
Yeah.
And so they had to train me and they would throw up different topics and subjects. And, it was little skits, little mock trials and skits that we had to do. And so I learned to speak on cue. But I think reading more books and going to conferences and surrounding myself with people that's smarter than me actually helped me get out of that comfort zone and speak in front of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you speak very well. It
Thank
definitely,
you.
it definitely stands out about you. Not just your height, you know, the way you speak stands
Okay.
out. Um, and you're saying that comes from reading books.
Yeah. hmm There is a really good book that I recommend a lot of people to read.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I'm an avid book reader. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Uh-huh.
That is a really good book that speaks to my spirit, or I
Yeah.
would say my soul.
Yeah.
And it's kind of oversights of if you want to do better, you have to learn different techniques and do little things to train your mind
Mm-hmm.
set to want to do better. And they always say it takes 21 days to change a habit. So
Yeah.
after reading that book, it gave me clarity on like, hey, if I want to live a certain lifestyle, I
Mm-hmm.
have to make little small sacrifices for things, and eventually I would get to where I'm going. For example, I've been in school a while. I'm about to graduate,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in school a while because I'm like, hey, I want to learn this. I want to teach myself something new, but also too, whatever I'm learning, how can I help somebody else in this capacity? But also too, monetize it. And so that's why I got into the public health field.
Yeah.
Some people say it's lucrative, some people say it's not, but I got on more the tech and data side, which has been very lucrative for me.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy helping people, and I
Yeah.
know the new emergence of AI is coming, but you know,
Yeah.
AI can't read cursive, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but reading books, there's another book called The Accidental Executive,
Uh-huh.
The Articulate Executive, and those books teach you how to present yourself, but actually move in a business strategy
Yeah.
to actually get where you want to go. And there's a lot of books by the Emotional Intelligence by Gene, I think it's Gene Graves and Travis Bradbury,
Mm-hmm.
Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you a lot about introverts, ambivert, omnivert,
Yeah.
and reading the crowd and picking up on social cues and navigating through
Yeah.
difficult situations in your personal and professional lifestyle.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. People always talk about they'll say, "Oh, this person has high emotional intelligence." But what exactly does that even mean? If someone has high emotional intelligence?
Yeah, you know what? Everyone is different, but I think
Yeah.
when someone has a very high EQ, it's just the ability to recognize and understand and manage your own emotions
Yeah.
without being affected by someone else's, right? So
Right.
whenever you're thinking about critical building relationships or trying to reduce stress or advancing in a career, we always say obstacles, you got to turn those into opportunities. You're always going to face some type of kind of conflict. Humans, you can manipulate human behavior, but you can't change them, right? And so whenever you face stuff like that, you just have to learn to navigate like, hey, am I going to have like a crash out? And if I'm going to be intelligent right now, and if I
Yeah.
know I'm trying to seek and go to this job and curse out this individual or not build rapport or relationship with this person, will this interfere with my business contract or actually promotion? You have to look at that. When you're in a relationship, when you have a loving partner, you may not like something about them. You can't curse them out. You have to show them a form of respect. So if you want to build this relationship with your partner, your significant other, and you
Yeah.
want that to grow and nurture into something long term lasting,
Yeah.
guess what? You have to learn emotional intelligence and understand, hey, I
Yeah.
need to understand the ability to recognize their feelings, but also to manage my own without being very defensive or
Yeah.
offensive or defensive, right?
Yeah.
And so it's more of an example of better, it's an example to be a better of perception versus, I would say, exposing hurt or some type of deflection that can
Yeah.
seem to be negative, and you can project that onto other people. And sometimes it could be very hurtful.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you don't have emotional intelligence, most of the time, when
Yeah.
you kind of deflect that and hurt other people, it can come out different ways, maybe verbally or physically combative, and
Yeah.
it can be destructive, but in other ways. Hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. So a lot of people don't necessarily have that because people kind of like they're kind of like just very quick to react. They're not maybe reading
Hmm.
the room very well. They're not,
Hmm.
they're not necessarily thinking about the other person. They're just like very, thinking about themselves. They're not as selfless as they would want to be. How does a person, if someone wants to improve their emotional intelligence, what do you think, or might be a step to like do it?
Yeah, so actually, there is a YouTube series, and I believe the name is Daniel Goldman, and he speaks on the key components of emotional intelligence. And the four key components he talks about, which actually highlights this, and he breaks it down to four core domains, is about self-management. So, are you controlling impulsive behaviors and managing emotions in a healthy way, which I explained? And then he talks about self-awareness. That's like kind of understanding your own emotions, your strengths. You understand where you're weak at, where you're not strong at. Say if
Yeah,
you have a partner, hey, I'm not good at communicating, but I'm good at quality time and service of actions or something like that. I
yeah,
can do that, but I need
yeah,
help grooming that. But hey, I don't want you to leave me. But if I'm weak at this subject
yeah,
or this area, will we still work, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
also too, you can look at social awareness, right? The empathy
yeah,
for others. So if someone is grieving or mourning, you
yeah,
know what? Show them compassion. What type of words are you going to help them, right? Because we always say words can be, it can build somebody up or it can tear somebody down. So
yeah,
whenever you're thinking about the emotional capacity of others, be very mindful and careful how you speak to people. And I think the last one, if I'm not mistaken, is relationship management. And managing,
yeah,
like I said before, conflicts in any type of situation, clear,
yeah,
concise communication. Am I
yeah,
lucid enough? Am I very direct without being diplomatic, assertive, or stickler, right? If
yeah.
I'm being a manager, nice, most managers say, oh, I'm type A. That's mean, hey,
What
I
is
just want to
type
be an
A?
asshole.
What is
Type
type
A
A?
part.
Yeah, like a type A manager.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, type A personality. It was more of very, I would say, highly organized,
Uh
very
huh.
competitive, ambitious,
Uh huh.
but they're very impatient. They want things urgent, perfectionist, and people like,
Yeah.
I'm type A.
Yeah.
And that's just, in most in HR say, that's just give people the leeway to be assholes.
Yeah. I see.
And
I
so
see.
you can and so when you talk about emotional intelligence, you need to manage all four of those core domains, such as self-awareness,
Yeah.
self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. But
Mhm.
also too, you need to think about your mental health, your relationships, and how are you functioning in and outside of your personal and business life,
Mhm.
because either you're going to affect them, or
Yeah.
it's going to be productive or going to be destructive, right? And so I'm like, if those are not going to work, and if you don't know how to talk to people or just
Yeah.
show empathy or care for people or actually do some kind acting and professional work,
Yeah.
sometimes that can hinder a relationship. And a lot of people, if you do something bad to them, they don't want to be done, they don't want to deal with you no more, and you can burn a bridge with people. I hope I'm
Interesting.
answering these questions. I'm trying
Yeah.
to
No.
answer on
No.
the fly.
Yeah. No. No. You good. You good. You're good. So, as opposed to type A, what else could a person be? So, if you're not type A, what other type are you?
Oh, I think, oh my God,
Yeah. Just from what
personality.
you
It's
think.
like
Yeah. Mhm.
it's so many different personality types. I think there's like the most common ones are like traits A to
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
Now the A is more ambitious, very highly competitive, like high achievers. Those are perfectionists. Sometimes they call them the grandiose or the narcissists of bosses if you get into the business field. Now type B, they're more relaxed, easygoing, social. They rather kind of get to the destination without less stress. They'll put in
Yeah.
work, but they won't overexert themselves, right?
Yeah.
Type C, those are more analytical and logical, detail oriented, somewhat perfectionist. They avoid conflict, but they like consistency. And type D is more the sensitive. Those are the more introverted type, the cautious. They
yeah,
experience high distress. They're more insecurity, more shy. What we were talking about earlier, introvert, extrovert. So some
yeah,
people can be a combination of all four. Some people can
yeah,
be a combination of two to three of them. Most
yeah,
common types. People like, oh, I'm type A, I'm type B. I
yeah,
would definitely say I fall in between type B and C. I'm very analytical and logical, where I'm like very detail oriented.
yeah,
I like to speak with rationality, help people, but I'm
yeah,
more easygoing. But I offer empathy and helpful, but
yeah,
I like to go the easy way. I don't like too much stress and I hate conflict. I do not
yeah.
do drama.
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And also too, there is a book out by, if I'm trying to remember the author, it's a really popular book. It talks about the four types of human behavior by Thomas Erikson, and it's called Surrounded by Idiots. And so how to navigate people and through those four different domains, and they talk about different personality types and how you can navigate, negotiate business, personal life, social outings with them. And it's a really detailed, and I really love that book as well. So that kind of helped me out in my personal life.
yeah. Interesting. So that makes sense. If you're not like a confrontational person, that means you're gonna have to be a really good communicator because a lot of
Mhm.
times I feel like communicating solves everything. Like a
Yeah, it
person,
does. Really.
right? A person who's like really good at communicating many times win. Like what they get what they want, they win whatever. Like not even win in the sense of like, hey, like it's me against you, but things are resolved easier. They don't say things that they end up regretting. They kind of like say what needs to be said, keep it short, and everybody wins. It's like a win-win situation. As opposed to like someone that doesn't know how to
Mhm.
communicate. They kind of like burn bridges. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
That's
Like someone
interesting.
that's like very like abrasive,
Yeah,
and they could say something inappropriate at the wrong time.
yeah,
Like for example, I was at work and someone made an inappropriate joke about a child pedophile at school, and it was like, wrong timing, not in this group setting.
yeah,
And the person's very nice, but they didn't pick up on social cues, right?
yeah,
They didn't read the room. Some people have children, some people have daughters
yeah.
in school ages, and I think it was very
Oh yeah,
insensitive. And
yeah.
I didn't think he meant it, but military people, they have freedom of speech and they speak very widely
Uh-huh.
without any kind of constraints almost. But when you walk in certain areas, you just have to conduct yourself in a certain way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, that was a clear example of like reading the room, social
yeah,
cues, and saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Everybody kind of looked at him, and I kind of like, I'm more of the conflict mediator
yeah,
as a manager at my job, and I'm like, oh, let's change the subject. Oh, okay. Well, good joke. Okay. And you kind of like just stir away from that.
yeah,
Nice guy, but came off a little bit abrasive and offensive to
yeah,
some people. So I try to navigate away from that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that do that. That can just redirect the conversation before somebody like slips up a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? It's usually I feel like more of an HR person.
Yeah,
In most jobs that I have, I always moved up to a leadership role, and that was
yeah,
just because I built great rapport with people. And
yeah,
mind you, everyone's not gonna like you, but I'm approachable. I
yeah,
may not like I'm likable, but at the same time, everybody's not gonna be your friend, and that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But as long as we can show respect and integrity towards one
yeah,
another and have morals and principles, I think that's most important. And like you stated earlier, communication is very big and it can kind of derail or delegate certain situations, and
yeah,
which I really believe in lucid communication. I think a lot of people, if we do that a little bit better, or maybe if we reframe our words or learn to manage them. And two, I would say definitely it's all about your delivery, tack, and tone.
yeah,
So how are you delivering your message? How's your tone? Are you aggressive? Are you,
yeah,
speaking very shyly? People can understand you.
yeah,
Um, But how's the tack approach, right? Are you just very demanding? Are you like overly aggressive? Or being a
yeah,
little bit sarcastic? Or
yeah,
being condescending? Because you can rub people the wrong way,
yeah,
and that's probably not what you meant. But you have to look at your body language too, also when you're communicating. I think that's a very essential part as well.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it feels like it's a lot a person has to be aware of just when it comes to communicating, especially when you communicate
Yeah,
with different people. Like
yeah,
you have
because
to be on
you know what?
point.
Yes, and there is actually a cultural thing. I can't remember the website right now, but
Hmm.
there is a website on culturally speaking to different demographic groups,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I had to do a presentation. Now, mind you, when I did a presentation on this data, it was pretty sensitive.
yeah.
And I was talking to a group that was affected by a war conflict. And so
Hmm.
there were immigrants coming over, and mind you, I may not have experienced what they have experienced as losing a home, their homeland, family members, jobs, and pretty much their whole identity, their culture identity. But I
Yeah,
could still empathize with them, knowing and reaching out, hey, I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm
yeah,
here to understand you. And that's what I say you may not have experienced that, but you
yeah,
need to show empathy in that. And
yeah,
where you can do to show empathy is just offer a listening ear. And some people kind of braze over that, like, okay, but yeah, you don't know how this may affect them long term, as in
yeah,
suffering from PTSD. And
yeah,
sometimes people they get very cautious, and they have to move in different ways, and everyone's different, So
yeah,
if I'm speaking to a group that came over from Africa that maybe experienced conflict,
yeah,
or maybe a group that experienced genocide,
yeah,
or I'm speaking to a Middle Eastern group or Asian group, I have to actually culturally sensitively talk to them all differently. And it's just out of a form of respect. I
yeah,
respect your culture. I understand where you're coming from. I may not know too much, but please correct me if I'm ignorant. I
yeah,
always want to be coachable, but I
yeah,
always say remain a student before the teacher. Before
yeah,
you can teach somebody else something, maybe something that you're not unaware of,
yeah,
making sure that you're listening first and comprehending before you speak out of turn.
yeah, yeah. Yo, you're dope. You're dope.
Really?
You know your stuff. You
No,
know your stuff. Yeah,
no, it's just out of personal experience.
yeah,
This is that I'm a global health scientist, so I
yeah,
learned about different cultures and working with different ethnic groups, picking up
yeah,
different dialects, and
yeah,
I travel the world. Not a lot of countries, but I wish I can visit more in due
yeah,
timing. But
yeah,
I think traveling just opened up my mind in a different aspect, and I love it. I love every culture. I think every culture is beautiful. They all have something different to offer,
yeah,
and we could all learn from each other.
yeah,
And I feel like communication is the big key. And
yeah,
I'm going to keep underlining that and keep emphasizing on that.
yeah,
Communication is a really big key on trying to connect the pieces to the puzzle on
yeah,
how we can understand and learn from each other without causing any disrespect or harm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that you brought up traveling. What are some of your favorite countries you visited?
Favorite countries? Ooh, I have a few. Um, well, I've been to mostly like U.S. territories, but some countries that I would visit and it was very beautiful. I've been to Kenya before. I did some work in
Uh-huh.
Kenya.
Uh-huh.
I did been to Liberia.
Yeah.
Been to Belgium. I've
Uh-huh.
been to London. I went to
Uh-huh.
Paris. I've been to Turkey.
Oof.
Actually, I had a trip coming up. I was supposed to go to Oxman, Jordan. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that trip, got canceled because of some
Yeah.
stuff. And I don't know yet, but I'm supposed to be taking a trip to India in August.
Oh, that sounds big.
Mhm.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, but yeah, like I'm going friends, like
Nice.
it's a group of us going. It's a group, me and my friends, we're all going. So
Nice.
we'll see. We'll see.
Nice.
I'm excited, but I've never been. I know India is really big.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a life-changing experience, as in learning something new and about a different culture that I'm unaware of. So
Yeah.
I love the food, and I think they have a very beautiful people, very intelligent. So hey, I'm up for traveling when the
Yeah.
time is right?
Yeah. You're very uplifting just from the way you talk about people, the way you respect people's culture.
Yeah, you have to be. I feel like the world
Right?
is just so negative, and we live in very perilous times. And like you said, communication and just showing love and empathy towards each other, I think we can go a long way.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. We've got 30 minutes. Did it feel like 30 minutes? It didn't feel like it to me.
Really?
Yeah, that's 30
No, I
minutes.
don't know. I don't know what more to say. I'm about to
No,
leave
that's
out.
cool.
Look,
That's cool. That's cool.
Happy
That's
St.
cool.
Patty's Day. But I mean,
Yes, yes.
yeah, like I mean, I am naturally I'm a communicator. Like I said, I think it's
Yeah,
kind of just in me.
yeah,
Like I was trained, and then a lot of things you go through is just life, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
worked in different organizations, so I worked at Exxon Nobel. Everyone was from somewhere
Excellent.
different. My
Yeah,
boss, Exxon Nobel, so it's a chemical plant, but also too worked on mass destruction,
yeah,
and it's more paint formulations, but they do bombing, coding, and a lot of technical things. So
yeah,
it's really cool.
yeah,
They work with a lot of Marines and
yeah,
biology and submarines, so it's really cool. But I got a chance to opportunity to work in Brazil. I've been in
yeah,
Brazil, so that was really fun.
yeah.
Um, and my boss was from Brazil. I had my other coworker, she was from Denmark.
Hmm.
My other boss, he was from Venezuela.
Yeah,
Dr. Giuseppe was from Venezuela. My
yeah,
other coworker was from Mexico.
yeah.
Ishil, my friend, she was from China. So I work with a group of people from everywhere around the world.
I
I
love
work
that.
with, yeah, my Dr. Edwin. I love him. He was from
Nice,
Kenya.
nice.
Yeah, so I
What do you
work with so
mean?
many people.
What do you mean he was? What do
Mhm.
you mean by that? You say he was from
No,
Kenya.
I'm No, no, no. He's crazy. I'm sorry. He is from Kenya, but
Gotcha,
I know he
gotcha.
went back over there to live, and he moved to Germany, and then he came back
Yeah,
to the States. So he kind of hopped around different countries because of education and schooling.
yeah,
But I learned a lot from different people and
yeah,
working with different people.
yeah,
So it was just a great opportunity. And you know what? We're still friends to this day.
yeah.
Actually, one of my bosses, and that's a good thing about building rapport and keeping that good rapport with people. My boss from
Uh-huh.
what 7, 8 years ago, he just hit me up and he wants to go on a triathlon. He wants to do the Spartan race in June.
Yeah,
So he wants me to do that with his wife and friends. So
yeah.
I'm gonna try to do that.
Have you done
I'm
it
trying to
before?
get trained up for that. Yeah, I did Tough Mudder. I did
Okay.
like a 5K Tough Mudder
Uh-huh.
in Pittsburgh in 2021.
Uh-huh.
It's fun, but it is exhausting. Like
Yeah.
you run and it's a adrenaline course. It's kind of
Uh-huh.
like American Ninja,
Yeah.
and you're swimming through muddy water. I
Yeah.
got hit with a there's like electrical shocks there, and then we had to climb a 12-foot wall.
Yeah.
So outside of being try to be a good communicator, I'm more recreational.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, you're active. You're active.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There's more to life. There's more to
Absolutely.
life. So
Absolutely.
just do anything. I would just always say, people always like, what is there to do? Like, I'm bored. I'm like, there's always
Right.
something to do. If
Right.
and now mind, depending on your faith, now God gives everybody the same 24 hours in a day if you're blessed to
Uh-huh.
see that 24 hours, right? And
Uh-huh.
there's always two things you could do. You can either
Yeah.
be productive or you can be destructive.
You
So
can be
in my
productive or you can be destructive. I
or
like that. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So in my 24 hours, and it
Yeah.
just kind of depends right now since I'm a student,
Yeah.
school and reading, and working with different patients, that's taking up most of my time. But
Yeah.
if I'm not out, I'm very active as in recreational. I like kayaking. I like zip lining. I love hiking. I
Yeah.
love traveling. So anything outdoors, and just get my body moving and working. And,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, movement is key. I mean, not even just physically, but also like just mentally. Like you gotta I feel like you have to be where you see yourself being. Like just mentally. Like you have to carry yourself like that. You have to think like the person that you see
Mhm.
yourself becoming. So yeah, movement for sure. For sure. You gotta move around. Um yeah, yeah, it shows. Everything you're saying it reflects just who you are. It sounds like it.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, I hope to be. I just try to stay positive and
yeah.
honestly, like just try to stay, yeah, just try to stay positive, uplift
Yeah,
people. And like
yeah,
I said before, we live in perilous times. We don't know what's going to
yeah,
happen, but
yeah,
the more you just speak into people's spirit and love on them, because you never know how your words can change them or in that moment time
yeah,
or whatever they're going through. So I always say, speak kindly to people, show respect, empathy,
yeah,
and love. Regardless if you like them or not. If
yeah,
not, please be silent and keep the peace and stay away.
yeah,
But you never know what people are experiencing and how you can
yeah,
change their life for that second or moment when they encounter you.
yeah. All right. So everybody can hear exactly what she's saying. She's like saying things that are inspiring, things that are uplifting, things that basically saying like you can improve yourself, right? It doesn't matter what your past was. It doesn't matter like who you were yesterday. You can definitely improve and, put in the work to get there. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up this conversation? Is there anything that is on your mind? Is there anything that you want to share? Is there anything you want to promote? Anything like that?
Um, yeah, I would say thank you for just taking the opportunity to give me just this time frame out of your day to just speak with me briefly. I really do appreciate that. And I think you are a great person. I love what you're doing. And keep up with the good work. I think you're spreading a word, but it's more of a positive movement, and you are doing a phenomenal job. And I wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors, honestly. Thank you so much for even speaking with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody.